Topping news is outgoing Governor Charlie Baker is named the next president of the National Collegiate Athletic Association.
And Western Mass News reporter Paris Dunford joins us live with how this will affect schools across the country. Paris.
Chris, Mary, we spoke with a local college president who actually was a part of the search committee that chose Governor Baker for this position. She says his experience as a governor is exactly why they chose him for this job.
It may have come as a surprise for many, but others say it's exactly what college athletes needed. Outgoing Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker named the next president for the National Collegiate Athletic Association, or the NCAA.
I think there are a number of people like, oh, wow. But I think it makes a lot of sense.
Baker did play basketball when he attended college at Harvard, but it wasn't really his athletics background that landed him the new gig. Mary Beth Cooper is the president of Springfield College, but she serves on the board of governors for the NCAA and was a part of the search committee that chose Baker as president.
The search committee was looking for a candidate that had great problem-solving skills, had the ability to know D1, D2, D3 sports, and worked in a complex organization. When you have a governor that's got such a high favorability rate, he must be doing something right.
She says his leadership skills and his proven ability to bring bipartisan leadership to the state is what made him so favorable for this position, especially during a transitional time for student athletes. A major change just taking effect, NIL, or name, image, and likeness. Student athletes can now be paid for their services, causing a lot of other issues on campuses across the country.
Someone like Governor Baker, given his experience in problem solving and being somebody who's very strong in brokering and creating policy and being very good at kind of bridging bipartisan differences, I think his skill set will be very well put to use here.
Now, Western Mass News reached out to local college athletic departments for their reaction to the news. UMass Amherst Athletic Director Ryan Bamford tells us he was pleased to hear the news.
I think it's a great day. He's a tremendous leader and certainly has the skills that are needed to move our association forward.
Similar reaction from American International College's AD, Jessica Chapman. She sent us a statement that reads, quote, "I believe the NCAA has found the right person to carry the association forward into the future. His political background will serve well as the NCAA continues to navigate issues surrounding the name, image, likeness, and compensation of student athletes."
Now, Governor Baker's last day in office is January 5th. He'll then take over as president of the NCAA a few months later, just in March. Reporting live in studio, Paris Dunford for Western Mass News.